Yeah. Good kid. Welcome everybody to Catfish Weekly, along with Josh and Chad. I'm Lyle, and boys, we're going to talk about traveling, fishing.
I like that.
I like it too. I think that was a great idea. I'm not sure we ever done a show about traveling and fishing, although we've done a lot of it. Of course, Josh has traveled over to see me before, unlike Chad.
Oh, here we go.
In fact, twice.
Here we go. Hey, you know what? He lives like 5 hours closer to you than I do. So
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's just
Dockery has been here.
Dockery lives like 15 minutes away, and
No, he doesn't.
he's
I made that trip to Dockery's house. It's a long way.
Years he's made it twice.
Uh,
Mark lives closer than I do to you, and Mark's never came down.
No, but he's telling me he is, of course.
Now, Mark's good about emailing or sending you a message that, hey, what's the zip code to blah, blah, blah. And then he sends back a message. Oh, that's this far on Google Maps. And that's the end of it. So that's what he does. He's done it to me more times than I can remember now.
Computer stuff figured out where you can find that. It takes me a lot longer to go. Tim Molina says Chad won't go to Missouri.
One of these days I will. But
he keeps telling me he's coming. So we'll save him a spot. We'll have a good time. I if everybody show up one time, I have a couple of pork butts and we could bake pulled pork, have a big dinner in the backyard.
Well,
just be us because I don't know none of my neighbors. They don't know me, and I don't want to know them. So
sometimes it's better that way.
I got two older women that live on each side of me that are very sweet, and a pretty nice guy lives across the road with a 3-year-old daughter. And they're about all I ever talk to, and rarely with them, But it is what it is. That's it's Buffalo. I mean, come on.
It's fair.
I seen that Avid was the first one in chat tonight. Chad, you want to go through the list?
I will go through the list because the first one I see is Mr. Mike Sampson. Then we got Mr. Avid Fisherman, who is also a member Joe Buck 66. Petey's Jigs. It's a new one that I haven't seen around. Mm-hmm. Welcome.
Glad to have you.
Member Carolina Catfish. What's up, David? Tim Molina. We got member Creole Catfishing. Member James Dockery Fishing. So you can't say what you was wanting to say to him. He's being nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Mr. Jason Lamb. Let's roll down here a little bit. Keith from NWPA Fishing. Mr. Member Danny Stone Outdoors. The beautiful and wonderful Miss Cindy Stokes. Dan Thompson. Brandon's Outdoor Adventures. Big Wrench Catfishing. Troy from Real and Virtual Outdoors. Crappie Day Fish On. Annette's Catfishing. Joe Newman. Greenwell Fishing. Chucky Morgan. Brad Becks.
Carolina Catfish says, what about squirrel and Lowrance lessons? We had some conflicts a couple of times, so Thursday night on Panfish Nation, Dawson is scheduled again to be on the show, and I think we've got everything lined out where this week he'll be there.
We got the sixth favorite son. That's right. He's fallen out of the top 5. We got Fish on Luke.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Luke.
We got Lance McCoo guy, and he knows what he did to make me say something like that. Kenneth from Takedown Catfishing. Parker Pursuits. Sonny Catnapper Parker.
And there's Mike Lewis. Glad to see you in here tonight, buddy.
Mr. Dale Hayslip. Yep, Mike Lewis, Team Whisker Tickler. Oh, it's like, woo. We got member Palmetto Cats. JG Hill Studio. You see me scrolling.
Good to see all these folks in here, and thank you
Right.
all for the memberships. We appreciate it so much.
Right, to the bottom, sir.
Very good. 205 Wildcat Action. Good to see you in here.
I'm at 205 down in Cotcott. He's a good guy.
That's awesome. Glad to know
Pretty
that
good
you
meeting.
met some of these members.
I did. I've met quite a few of these folks now.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I you know, speaking of traveling, we used to do a lot of traveling to tournaments and meet and greets and conferences and all kinds of stuff. And there comes a time when it's just harder to do. What really slowed me down for doing all that stuff was when COVID hit. Tons and tons of stuff that we had paid entries in and motel rooms on and different things for months and months and months in advance got canceled. Most of the people were real gracious and helped you get your money back and make sure everything. Some of them didn't. Some of them didn't. That's just the way it is. And that kind of took a bite out of me. Not that we couldn't survive it. It just pissed me off, that they would be like that after years and years of devotion to a lot of these people. But it took a couple years for to get past that where people was actually strong enough or thought enough that they could go to these events again and with a safety factor in mind. Little did we know at the time that it was all a bunch of BS. Uh, and let's face it, that's what it was. It was just BS. But things are back on the straight and narrow, and tournaments have started up strong as ever, in my opinion. I haven't been to one for a while, but it looks like they're getting their numbers back, and people are showing up. Uh, but you put 2 or 3 years behind you that you don't do any of that, it makes it harder to get back in your game. I'm not sure that we will. There's some events and stuff that I will probably will do again, just because we enjoyed doing those and being around the people more than doing the events. Um, I haven't done a seminar in a couple of years or several years, and whether I do another or not remains to be seen. I know that I won't do them as I did before. There has to be something involved in it that makes me want to do it. Because when you go, usually you got to do one or two a day for 2 or 3 days, and you're tied into that. Once you commit, you can't back. You really shouldn't back out.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So that's took some of the things out. Now, something that we do every year, just about for a while now, and I'm looking forward to is our Mendota trip in Wisconsin. Um, it would have to take something devastating for me to miss that trip just because we enjoy it so very much. And I know you guys both have been going for the last few years and you love it too. This year, we're going to have a little competition amongst the three of us, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I can find a spot like I did last year, you suckers are in trouble. But if I don't find it, I might be. You just never know. And it doesn't matter because we're going to have a good time and we're going to entertain people because that's what we do.
Are y'all really viewing this as a competition, though?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's a competition.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it sure is.
When
Josh come up with this, I was ready to go that day. And, competition is competition. It doesn't matter if it's Dockery or Chad or Josh or Kevin with Palmetto Cats. If I have a competition, somebody, I'm going in to win. I'm not going in to horse around. We're planning on bringing back whatever the prize is.
this chat is getting awful rowdy. I've almost had to time out Dockery. Now Mark's on the verge of getting timed out.
Wow.
Luke's about to get timed out.
Wow. All your brothers.
Exactly. We'll show them who's number one.
That's right, Sonny. Dynamite works really well. I don't want to use that in that shallow water I usually fish, though.
That'd be bad in that shallow water.
Well, the muck that's in the bottom of that, it's pretty rough stuff.
That stinks, too.
Yeah, it does. But it's all about having a good time. Crazy Cat Outdoors, welcome. But it is what it is, and who doesn't like a little friendly competition?
Oh,
But
yeah.
the fun part about any of these events is sitting around eating dinner with your people that you enjoy being with, or just sitting around outside of a motel or a campground and seeing who can outlast the other. And you can sit there and just have some of the damnedest conversations and enjoy each other's company because you're all together instead of being on a show or something where you're halfway across the world from the other one. And you can tease and rag on each other, and it's just a fun event. And that's what Mendota is to me. Oh, what is this?
Chat. We've lost control of chat tonight already. So
That's what I'm talking about.
oh,
Thank you, Pops. I appreciate you putting that in there. I never knew you.
People need to understand here, right quick now, when these two have the privilege.
So let's talk a little bit more about that traveling thing.
When these two have the privilege to do the same thing I do.
yeah. Now the show just got better.
They can. One of them types something out, it comes up as Catfish Weekly, just like it does when I do. So if you see that, I may or may not.
You have to wonder. Yeah, you got to wonder whether.
Yeah, who was?
Yeah.
Who was?
That
was good.
There's an imposter
that really
among
was
us tonight. So.
Hey, there's Freddie and Nubbies.
Did you get Chrissy Brown? I saw Chrissy Brown's in
Chrissy
here.
Brown.
Greenwell Fishing.
Annette. I think he said that. Big Wrench. I don't know if you got Big Wrench or not.
Yeah,
Parker Pursuits.
Yep. But that's kind of where I was going with this. Talking about this topic of the traveling fisherman, right? Is our enjoyment of traveling, through this community. How many of these people have we now got to meet with traveling, fishing, and stuff like that, right?
Lots.
Second part of it is just looking at new waters and new adventures with friends and family and stuff like that. And then third, even in your local areas, I mean, how many people do you know hit the same spot over and over because that's what produces?
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly right.
That's the third part of what I'm thinking of, though, is, traveling in your waterway to find new spots, right? I think that was kind of the three things that I had thought of when we talked about this.
You both had told me that you met a really good friend of mine. His name's Jason Mathena.
I did.
Jason, he's an amazing guy. We're going to have him on Catfish Weekly as a guest here in the near future. I've had him on before, and he's so knowledgeable. Jason will go out and find fish, and he'll catch one or two, or maybe three or four if he's got somebody in the boat with him. And he just will pick up and go somewhere else where the fish aren't biting because he wants to find different fish. There's very few people that do that. A lot of people sit there, as long as they're biting, they'll catch them. Not Jason. If he catches a couple in a spot, let's go. Roll your stuff up. We're heading to another area, and he'll look, and he'll look, and he'll look. And he's okay, right here. Cast over there, tells you how, and you'll catch fish.
There is somebody that's traveling right there.
Yeah, Chris Flores. It doesn't matter where he goes, it's a long ways.
Chris, how many miles have you put in the past, say, 2 weeks between CatCon and now Hawaii and everything else? And you've got to be getting some frequent flyer points going on there.
I'll have to.
We get fished a spot on the. There you go. Mike Greenwell's talking about just that.
Yeah,
you fished a spot on the river, the Green River there, where he's never fished before, and he was catching them. So,
yep.
And it's really easy to get into that. If you've got a spot that produces for you, it's hard to leave that spot alone and go mess somewhere else.
Hey, there's real gal. Stephanie's in here.
3,200 miles round trip to CatCon. Man.
Wow. That's a long way.
That is a very long way.
Yeah, and they drove that. They didn't fly that.
Right.
Chad avoiding the challenge.
What challenge, Luke? I hate. I have lost many times in my life, and I am not afraid to lose again.
That's
Like Lyle said earlier, I'll have a blast doing it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun no matter what. You know, the thing is, with Chad, you've got better signal at Mendota than I do. I have trouble going live up there.
Yeah. Well, both of you guys are going to have trouble that day that we're going to be fishing when you guys can't find the plugs for your boat. So,
you know how many of those I've got in the boat?
Yeah, I was going to say I got multiple in the boat and in the truck.
And some would be have.
Yeah. Hell, I'm pretty good at just taking a piece of wood and whittling out a plug. Take a hammer and drive it in, and then when we get back, you can worry about getting it out for me.
No. I had quite the workout last year trying to get your freaking shallow water pole out of the thing.
Oh, man. You should have seen it the year before when I was hanging off the back of my boat trying to get all the weeds and stuff off of his prop.
I did that the
Boys,
year.
There's you a challenge, Chad, Josh, Mark, Dockery.
Well, that's not fair because he always takes my fishing spots.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, he does.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to watch Luke. He'll pull up real close to you. That way you can't get your boat unloaded. And I mean, he's done dirty stuff like that before.
I thought Tara would have him under control by now.
That is going to happen this year, brother. It is going to happen. I thought we had it last year. It just didn't work. Ooh.
Mendota multi-species.
Yeah, I just saw that. I like that too.
That's an idea there.
Don't let Parker in on that one because.
But the problem is we go up there to catch them guy channel cat. If you're not careful, you forget how great a fishery Mendota is because it has the perch that I never have caught one of. It has walleye, it has crappie, it has bluegills, it has
pike,
carp. Yeah, usually the carp are spawning while we're up there, so you can have your way with them if you want to. But yeah, there's everything catchable in that lake, so we may have to do that, Luke, because I want to eat one of those because I keep hearing that they're better than crappie.
Somebody told me that, but
Mark keeps telling me that and he likes them, and everybody else says they're good too. But if they're as good as crappie, I will be pressing to get some put in the lakes around me. But now I did hear the other day that one of the lakes down south of me on the other side of Branch, the Table Rock, I believe it was, has them perch in it. I've never caught one there though.
Sonny, there are going to be
that is going to happen
of panfish tournaments this year.
Yep, there is.
If you all was watching Panfish Nation last week, we just announced the tournament series that we're doing. 4 different channels will have, four different channels will have entry events. So top 2 will be make it to the championship on Panfish Nation at the end of next year. So, and then Josh also has his bass tournament. You're coming up here in a few weeks. It's going
to be in a couple of weeks, the 18th and 19th there. So still have some spots open if anybody's wanting to.
Did I get my spot filled?
Your spot is in there. I've
got
you down. So
there we go.
Is he on my day? I want to be able to whoop him on my day.
He is not on your day. He is not on your day, so you need to make sure you finish in that top 4. That way you can go on to the
okay. All right.
This is a numbers tournament, correct?
Yeah, basically it's weight based, but anything over 1 pound counts towards your total weight. So I mean, if you caught 100 1-pound fish, you got 100 pounds. So
well, Sonny Parker says I want in. I need to know which one, the one of Josh's or the one of Panfish Nations.
The Panfish one. Who's got the first? Is it Mark?
Mark has the first one on his channel, and I'm not sure if he's got that out yet, but I believe that's April 15th, and then that'll be followed up by my tournament on June something.
And then mine on July 8th, and if you want any more than that, I got an open notepad.
I forgot when Dockery's is.
Give me just a
And,
second, I'll tell you.
and then the top 2 from each one of those events will go into a final fish off. It'll be live on Panfish Nation.
Dockery is September 9th, according to what I have here. So
I think mine was June 17th.
Yeah.
yours is June 17th.
So,
Nate, come on, buddy.
And the way we did that one too, the only tournament that's registration's open on is Mark's.
Yes.
It's the day after Mark's tournament, and then Chad's opens up. The day after Chad's tournament, my registration opens up. Because if you don't finish in that top 2 in Mark's tournament, you can still put in to fish another one of these tournaments. Thing about that is, once you fished a certain body of water, that body of water is dead for the rest of this tournament series.
to you.
To you, yes.
Yeah. And we won't be fishing our own tournament day. So like I can fish Marks and Dockery's and Josh's, if that kind of thing, but I can't fish my day.
Yep. But guys, if you for all those details, we went all through that last Thursday on Panfish Nation.
Go back and watch it.
Yeah, go back and watch it. All the information you need is right there.
Yep.
And if you still have issues, you can contact any of us affiliated with it.
Yep.
And we'll help you out. Hi, Christina. Glad to know that you made it home safe and sound.
Yes, dear. All right, so back to our conversation at hand. Gentlemen, traveling, new locations. And we've talked about like the best channel cat fisheries and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But what makes you want to choose somewhere to go fish new water? Like that's something D and I have kind of started doing with our vacation time over the last couple of years. We go to Kerr, we go to Wiley, we go to Bama, Mendota, that sort of thing. What makes you guys choose to go to specific locations and fish?
I think a lot of it has to do with reputation.
Of the waterways, yeah.
Of the waterway. I mean, reputation is hard to build up, and it's easy to lose. So if you have a lake that is known for stuff, and people are continuously talking about it, there's a real good chance that they're telling the truth.
That's correct. That's correct.
There's a lot of guides.
Yeah, Mendota is a great place but we use that for an example because as far as lake fishing, that's probably the premier lake fishing place that I'm aware of. Now, I know there's some great ones in Nebraska. There's some great ones in Kansas. There's some good ones in Iowa also. But none of them have the reputation Mendota's got for catching 25-plus pound fish consistently. Last year, we didn't do that a lot, which was the first time that I've ever been there that didn't. But it may or may not happen this year. I look forward to be back to catching a bunch of the big ones. But
last year, the numbers were really good up there.
The numbers were outstanding.
The numbers were awesome.
I'm up to go. I love channel cat fishing. I think that the people that won't fish channel cat tournaments shouldn't fish the other tournaments either because I don't know what they're missing. When you go to a weigh-in, and a lot of times the first 5 places is separated by less than a pound.
Yep.
That's a hell of a tournament. I don't care what kind of fish it is, and a 25-pound channel cat will fight as hard as a 50-pound blue any day if you're using the correct tackle to land that fish with. They're awesome to fish for, and you can catch them.
There is something, I know we've said it before on the Channel Cat show, there is something totally different when you put a channel cat in a lake as compared to what he does in the river. In the river, usually you'll find the exceptions to the rule, but he's usually not that impressive in the river. Put him in the lake where he's the biggest, baddest thing in the water, and he knows it.
He does know it. That's exactly
He will
right.
figure it out, and he will put a hurt on you. So
there's another one Sonny put up there, and I knew about that one, but I forgot about this. The one I really forgot about.
Yeah, I want to try that.
Sandusky Bay, and I would like for a bunch of us to get together and go up there sometime because I really think that's great. And another one, I'm talking about lakes now, but the Red River up north, I fished it, and we had great numbers up there, but not near the size we've caught in Mendota. Now, you go into the Canadian side. If you go into the Canadian side, you can catch some great fish up there, and numbers are astronomical. But it's a lot harder to go to Canada than it is to North Dakota or someplace like that to fish that red.
Yeah, it's not as easy to go into Canada as it used to be.
No, it's not. I see. Heron eats rats fishing.
I like that.
I do too. Welcome to Catfish Weekly.
I like that one.
He says Channel Cats put up a good fight here on the. I don't know. Somebody can that river he's talking about. I think that's in Pennsylvania though.
Yeah, Schuylkill River, I think it is.
Yeah, I don't know how you pronounce it, but
School.
I'm pretty sure it's in there. Sonny, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Drive careful going to work.
Yeah. But I think for me, though, it's been, Bama's kind of a different reason for going down there. There is some people down there that I know now and have, got to know a little bit. But for me, it's been through this is, the friendships that we were talking about earlier, going out to Virginia and seeing Tom and Michelle and the one-ton crew and going up to the James and stuff like that. And then, we had such a great time a few years back at Lake Wiley. And now this will be our third year going down there. And there's a few people I plan on meeting up with and fishing while we're down there. But the people have really became more of what we're doing versus just the fishing. The fishing is great, but that camaraderie, even though Mendota has Luke up there who tries to steal all my fish, it's still a great time too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
We wish we could afford to go even more places. And we may be able to add some places down the road, but
yeah, sure.
Go, but
welcome, Dave Scott. Boatman. Yeah, you're right about all that.
When you start combining the great fisheries around the country with great people, it just makes it hard.
Yeah, that's hard to.
We're going to camp this year, and a lot of people don't realize that. We always stayed in motels up there, but they passed regulations in Madison to where we can't cook outside the motel like we always did at least 1 or 2 nights. We can't conglomerate in the parking lot or back by the boats where we park the boats and stand around and shoot the bull.
They don't work.
Yeah, you said the Madison PD come and run you out, didn't they?
Yeah. So since we can't do that, that pretty much ends it at any motel in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So we got together and because let's face it, you get Chad and Josh and me and Mark and half a dozen other people that's going to be there, Jerry Parker and Stephanie and all the people that's going to be there, and get them inside a motel room in a banquet room, whatever they got available. They're going to hear us in every room in that motel. There's nobody going to get any sleep till we go to bed. So I kind of understand some of that. But John Boys, welcome.
Hey, John Boy.
The thing is, at that campground, we can stay up as late as we want. We can get up as early as we want. You can sleep, you can snore, you can fart, you can do whatever you want to do, and really nobody's going to bother you. And if they do, shame on them because when you've had enough, you've had enough. But there won't be. I just look for it to be a great time, and I think somebody will have a fire going, and somebody will have lawn chairs sitting around, and we're going. There'll be so many lies.
Oh yeah, it's going to be the way to go.
Dave Funk, welcome. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Now we haven't camped in a lot of years. But we've got all the stuff. We're ready to go. We'll see how it works out.
Poor Luke didn't even know that we were staying at the campground. It shows you where he's at on the list.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, my.
I'm ready to pack up the truck now.
Yeah, I'd like to.
I bet it's still too cold up there right now.
I doubt if they've got ice, though. Nobody else seems to.
Mark was getting snow and stuff last week when we were getting rain.
Who was?
I said Mark.
Yeah.
Mark was getting snow last week when we were getting rain. So
yeah, I will say, if only we knew somebody that was only like an hour away and never fished it.
I know, right?
Well, for everybody's information, I'm going to be Mark's guest tonight on the Catfish and Crappie podcast, and I'm going to jump off here in a few minutes so I can get ready to do that show with him. But you're in great hands with Chad and Josh, and we'll still have a great show. Hey, there's Chris with Hooks and Hammocks. You haven't missed a lot. We've been telling stories. It was all about you, though, and, you'll have to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, they're not stories, really, if they're true. So.
That's true. I guess that's right. Oh, man. But, that's a lot of it. The people you meet, the times you have. We do cookouts where everybody piles in and does stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, I kind of like to eat. So that works out really well for me. And it's cheaper than going out every night, for sure.
And it's a heck of a lot better.
Well, most of the time, yeah.
Yeah. It's a whole lot better.
We have had some really good meals when Betty and Cindy and Chrissy Brown and I don't remember who all, but most all the women.
Well,
and some of the guys would pitch in and cook stuff up. And
I know Betty went nuts over that dessert that Christina makes. So she loves that.
Yeah. And Cindy's dill pickle potato salad.
Mm-hmm.
She loves that. Not as much as me, probably, but she does love it.
That's good potato salad, too.
Oh, it is. It's awesome. I love potato salad. Cindy will make it here at the house once in a while, and then somebody will come over and she'll give them some, and I'm going, no. Jody says she'll pitch in and cook. That's awesome. But that's what you have to do. Everybody has to work together. And it's with our group and everybody that shows up in our group, it just works out that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You end up, there's a reason we talk about it the rest of the year. The minute we leave, we're talking about what we're going to, ready for next year already.
Jerry Parker. You'll have to message her and see. I am going to just throw this out there. There's a lot of things that Cindy usually does before we leave and takes up on that trip that she's not going to do this year because it's just getting to be too much for her on some of the stuff, and she don't want to drag all that stuff around. But I know if
message has been sent,
cinnamon rolls or something that everybody wants. So you just have to see what happens. Chad, shoot me a message on Facebook. I have some YouTube questions.
There we go.
Catfish.
If you have, I'm not sure. I think I have you. But go ahead and send me a message, and I'll message you right after the show that way.
Hey, there's Gabby's dad. Hey, Justin.
Hey, Justin.
There's John Parker.
John Parker in here.
And then y'all missed one of my favorite people. It's all mine. Hello, Michelle.
Hey there, John Parker.
Can't wait. I get to go up and see her and Tom on April 1st.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yep.
Be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Heroes. Where'd that go? Heroes Eats Rats Fishing. That is such a cool name.
I like that name.
Yeah, I do too.
I like that one.
There's Kentucky Redneck Outdoors. Listen, boys, I'm going to leave it in your capable hands. I've got some stuff to do before I get ready to do a show with Mark. I think I've said enough about what I got going on, and you guys can discuss what you got going on. And I'll see everybody next Monday night on Catfish Weekly.
Sounds like a good time, Pops.
We'll
see you guys.
We'll hold the fort down.
Thanks, guys, and thanks everybody for joining us in chat tonight. We really appreciate it.
Josh, should we go put our tuxedo shirts on?
Mine's out in the car, so probably not. But we need to do that. We need to do that maybe next week. We'll coordinate that.
Yeah.
All right. So, in case you didn't know, when we get done being live tonight, Mark from Catfish and Crappie is going to have Lyle on as a guest. But if Chad and I decide to run late, then we could just push the start of Mark's show back, and Mark can deal with it. So we can have fun.
Number 1 and number 2 here, sons. We'll just hang on here as long as we want.
Yeah, we'll just keep going. I mean, we're
Dan left
down
Look, it's like Dad went out of town for the weekend and left us in charge of the house.
You got to throw a party. Yeah.
Michelle,
Mark. You know how to do it. You've done it during tournaments before, Mark.
Yeah, or live shows.
Live shows or
at Mendota.
Yeah.
So,
man, I almost did that to Greenwell one day. I hopped in and I forgot that I still had rights on Greenwell's thing, and I went to hit leave studio and it was in broadcast, and I was like, oh nope, gotta get out of here.
Well, I've had it happen. Mark did it during my Mendota show. He did it in the middle of my birthday show.
Yeah. Freddie did it during couples tournament.
Freddie did it during a couples tournament. It's like I've been like sabotaged.
Yeah,
that must be where J-Dog and Cody got the idea for the sabotage tournament. But
yeah, I've got ideas for that one.
Yeah, well, that one's coming up on Cody and Larry's channel, 3+1 Outdoors, on April 1st and 2nd, I believe.
Yep, I got a message D about that one.
But we will be doing, D and I, we'll be traveling. We leave April 1st, and we're going out to Gaston and Curve for from the 1st through the 6th. We leave this on the 6th to drive down to Wiley.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we'll spend some days up there with some folks, obviously Tom and Michelle, the One Tunners and all those guys. But then we're going to go down to Lake Wiley on the 7th and 8th. And what we're going to do there is the second annual fish-a-thon to raise money for Camp Centurion again. So I think we're just going to have people come on live and fish with us that want to. I'm going to put that out. I know there are some people that are going to meet us at Wiley and fish. So I need to get with a certain person that hid from me. That came all the way from North Carolina to CatCon, and I saw him one time and he disappeared and was never to see it again. David, Carolina Catfish. So I need to get with him and talk some things out and see what he wants to do with that. But yeah, I think we're gonna have some fun with that. See if we can raise a few bucks for Camp Centurion while we're down there. And it's kind of a thing now where we want to go down there and get on some of them Lake Wiley fish. So, and maybe I'll get my phone back from the one I lost last year.
There we go.
Timelina, that is not why. Not why Lyle left. Lyle felt sorry.
Lyle felt sorry for Mark. So,
yeah, well, he said, guys, you two are good enough to do the shows on your own. Mark's not.
Mark needs help.
Mark doesn't have a guest. I need to go help him out. It's like changing a baby's diaper. So.
Oh, well. Kind of for the same reason, too. But we'll leave that to the imagination.
David, maybe I'll give you a call tomorrow, even if you're free. Run a couple things by you and see what we got going on for all that.
Oh, where's that message from Adam?
I
saw that one. There it is. We were talking about that one before the show. Guys, if you haven't gone over and checked out Avid's video that he posted, he's got an online tournament coming up real soon that sounds just awesome. Battleship Catfish Tournament. I'm anxious to see this one.
Oh, Battleship.
Yeah, Battleship.
With a P.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought it was. Never mind. Keep going.
Wow.
No, it does actually sound pretty good.
It does sound cool. I'm going to check that one out. Let's see here. No,
Thanks, I seen you message me, buddy.
Yeah,
no, it does sound pretty interesting. What you was telling me about it.
Yeah, I'm wanting to find out all the details on it, but I already said I want to be part of that one. So now we found a lake or Christina actually found a lake that we were going to try to visit last October. It just didn't happen. We might have to try to make that one happen later on this year if we can, and that is Lake Ouachita down in Arkansas. Supposed to be one of the cleanest.
What's it called?
Lake Ouachita, Ouachita, and supposed to be a real nice fishery. Got all kinds of stuff in there. So we were going to go down and try to check it out, and we just didn't just weren't able to do it for yeah, Nubby, that's right.
The caramel.
Oh, damn it. Man, that's bad. Hey, there's Caramel Muncie.
But yeah, I mean, you know,
Yeah, there's Matt. I knew that would get Matt's attention.
Ouachita.
Oh, Ouachita.
Well, see, I mean, and that's the thing that's interesting to me. Like, even coming down to, you know how much I love Baldwin and stuff like that, but just changing it up and coming down there and hitting lakes that I've never fished before.
And I fish Wren Lake a lot. I mean, last year I spent a lot of time on Wren Lake, probably more than I have in the past 4 or 5 years. But I fish the spots on that lake are so limited that I fish that there's probably 2 or 3, maybe 4 spots that I hit, and I either catch them there or I don't. There is so much more area on that lake that I just haven't gone and messed with.
You need to become a traveling fisherman on Wren Lake.
62896, Mark.
But with that though, why I brought that up. I told at the beginning of the show there was kind of like 3 parts of what made me think of traveling fishermen, and it's just that how many times do you hit those same spots over and over and over? And why do you think it would be important to go find other spots on that lake?
You're going to need you're going to need them if those fish ain't at your spots.
Yeah.
I mean, and get out there. And that was one of the things, like if we're prepping for a tournament, I'll go around and I'll try to, maybe catch 1 or 2 fish here. And then I go on and try to find another spot with similar, like if I'm catching in 12 feet of water on Rend on a flat, then I'll go over and hit another flat somewhere else on the lake and see if I can repeat that pattern. And if you can find a pattern that works, and that pattern works all over the lake, then it don't matter if somebody beats you to your spot in the morning.
Exactly.
Because you already know what's working. Okay, you can have that spot. I'll go over here and I'll catch the same fish. But
well, and that's exactly why I said that, right? Is figuring out patterns on any body of water, whether it's a lake or river.
And I was out on Crab Orchard probably about a month or so ago, and I was on the phone with Parker whenever I found this, a spot that is right outside the cove that I launch at every time I launch the boat. I have zipped past this my whole life and never stopped. I went through there side scanning on that thing. It is one heck of a bank. It's loaded up with rocks and deadfalls and everything else. This is a spot that I've never hit, but I'm going to hit it this year. Let's see.
No, I did.
I like that. Fish 6 new spots every time we're on it. That is a good idea.
It's a great idea. And I'm guilty of it. I fish the same spots quite a bit, but you're always going to have your go-tos. You're going to have your confidence spots. Yeah.
But if you're out pleasure fishing, go out and hit different spots. That's your time to explore.
Yeah.
Tournament day ain't time to explore. Tournament day, you better know what you're doing that day. You better have a plan B because stuff changes. But
100% agree. But definitely you got to try to change it up. I mean, there is so much water that you can explore. There's still spots on the Cincinnati pool on the Ohio River that I've never fished in before. And when I say spots, I'm talking about sections of that river. But Mr. Mendoza is my neighbor.
Yeah.
But I mean, even in that same stretch, looking at different depths and areas and stuff like that, again, traveling, like Uncle Lou says, bump and move, or run and gun or whatever his terminology is, same thing, but just getting out there and finding different areas, because you never know the river, especially rivers change.
And there's Tom. He'll say, hello, everyone. I hit the same spot every time. Well, that works too, though. So
he's got that spot pretty dialed in, though.
I am disappointed, though. Tom, LG Bass has Bass in his name and has not signed up to fish my tournament. So, man.
Buck Williams, I was talking about that Cave Run Lake, and there's a couple in Kentucky that I'd like to hit. Cave Run Lake, Dale Hollow, a couple of places like that. There's some lakes that I would really like to travel to and fish. I haven't done so since I was a kid, or at all. So
I want to spend a little more time on Kentucky and Barkley this year. I didn't go down there hardly at all last year. So
you know what you'll love about Barkley? I don't know about Kentucky Lake, but you know what you'll love about Barkley?
What's that?
You can just forget about trying to drag baits on that lake.
Oh yeah, so, I know.
Yeah, right? So you'll love it. It'll be your kind of lake.
Oh man.
Oh, shush your face, Brad.
There's Uncle Jeep.
Uncle Jeep. Let me know if I can wake wash you 1 year. What? Get out of here, Jody. I don't know what Jody's talking about.
I don't know, but that doesn't sound.
I had to reread it because he was talking about washing something.
Yeah, it doesn't sound PG there.
Yeah, but anyway, Josh, did we touch base on all three of the things that I was talking about earlier?
We talked about traveling over land to fish different lakes. We talked about traveling on your lakes that you already fish on and finding new spots there. And we talked about local lakes, fishing different bodies of water locally. So,
yeah. Well, and I see something Freddie is talking about, just posted in there, and that's something that I had considered if I ever get a big enough boat tournament ready, is traveling for some of these different tournament circuits. If I ever become good enough fisherman to do so. But I think that's kind of fun too. I've done a lot of the local tournaments around here, but I've got a lot of friends that do the Northern Alabama Trail. There's, the Southeast Catfish Club out in Carolinas. Those are doable, So I think that would be something that would interest me down the road if I ever get the finances and the boat and all that kind of stuff ready to do it.
And Creole was saying finding boat ramp in a new area is sometimes a challenge. That's one where Google Maps is your friend. Navionics is usually pretty good about it. They'll have boat ramps marked, but Freddie calling you out, Chad. Said he currently fishes big tourneys in his little purple boat.
Yeah. No offense, little buddy, but I catch bigger fish, and when I'm loading up, 30, 40, 800 pounds fish in my live well, I need a boat that can handle it. That's why I haven't been able to win all these tournaments, because I catch world records. I can't put them in my little live well. I always have to put them back, and I normally don't get pictures because I drop my phone in the water, so nobody's ever seen all the giants that I've got.
Yep, you got to get a tether for your phone.
Well, I've got multiple phones now. I got to keep. We traded in the phones this weekend, and I got to keep my opens.
Oh, Danny, that Dave's Insanity, pretty good stuff.
Well, yeah, Brad, about that, I need money for my rod holders too. So that's the other thing. I don't want to be taking rod holders left and right off that boat. I could do it just for the back six, though.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Just bounce stuff back and forth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, if I do that, I'm limited to the 6 rod holders on the back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm limited to either anchoring or dragging. I'm not really going to be able to suspend or do anything.
Yeah. Well, you could always just get you some more bait for the Trumpet Master 77.
Jinx. Welcome. Fishing stories come with read between the lines.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're not wrong.
6 rod holders.
That's what I would like to go fish is the ice bowl. I think that would be a fun one. Honestly, I'm not scared. I said earlier about tournaments or fishing against people. I'm not afraid to lose. That's not why I fish tournaments. Yes, winning's always fun, but I think it's part of the adventure and the story. I'm living to make memories. I'm not going to be the person that, when I cannot finally retire at the age of 75 because Social Security won't be there and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to retire at 75 and then start living life. That's why I travel now when I can, and going out having fun with friends or, fishing some local tournaments and running out of gas right at the, running out of trolling motor battery juice and running out of gas right at the ramp and then going right there. That's the stories that we tell, right?
Yeah.
We have fun. And now I can make fun of it. People can call me no gas, and that kind of stuff. So
yeah. There's Brian B.
David, if that's an invite, like I said, when I call you, if you're going to be available tomorrow, I'll call you. We can go ahead and start setting up plans and I'll fish it with you. You can be the next Bill Dance of catfish. And I don't want to be the Bill Dance of catfish. I want to be the champion.
I want to see that. See Parker Pursuits run a planer board off the end of one of those wing dikes.
That would be
it. But if you get snagged, you're not getting that board back.
Yeah, you can definitely fish with planer boards from the bank, but you get it stuck, you might as well kiss that planer board goodbye.
Spending the kid's inheritance. Shame on you.
You know how much inheritance I'm getting?
Yep.
I am preparing my child through knowledge of what to do that I didn't do at her, when she gets out into the workforce, to set herself up. Stuff that I didn't know about when I was a kid. So, just getting out into the world. So she will hopefully listen to Dad. Prepper channel. What? Brian B's got Brian B prepping now? I know he's Brian B cooking. Now you can be Brian B prepping.
Parker said he thought about doing that, but yeah, that's right. It's almost guaranteed you're going to lose that.
Yeah. Okay.
Cheap,
you're crazy, brother. Any of you guys got questions seriously though about like traveling and that sort of thing with fishing? Never saw a hearse with a luggage rack. Can't take it with you.
That is true.
All right, I don't see anything coming through. What else you got, Josh?
We've been talking about something for a little bit, and not quite ready to put it all the way in effect yet, but I'm going to put this out here. Coming up, we're going to start having a weekly bragging board on Catfish Week.
Yeah.
And, so if you all over the week catch a big old fish, you're going to be able to email that picture into us. And towards the end of the show, we'll show the bragging board, show off everybody's fish pictures with the weights and everything. We'll get the details on that. We'll get everything put together, probably put that out next week. But Freddie trying to get timed out today. But
to what Josh was just saying, you have to submit. It won't be us trying to just.
Yeah, we're not going to go out and try to find it, and we're going to have a deadline on. It's going to. I'll give all the details next week. I'll give the email address and everything. We'll show you how it's going to work. But in order to be on a Monday's show, we will have to have the picture by, say, 7 a.m. on Friday. So that gives me time to throw everything together. That doesn't mean if you catch a fish on Saturday and Sunday that it won't make the bragging board. It just won't make it that week. We'll get it we'll show it up the next week. So we'll be about a week behind on the bragging board, but you still get out there and show your fish off too. So
JG Hill Studio. Here's a thought. How do you find local knowledge about a body of water you've never fished? Here's going to be my two go-tos is obviously always Navionics. That's pretty much everybody's going to tell you about that one. But I don't know how many will tell you this one. Facebook. You would be amazed at how much knowledge you can gain by going and searching that body of water, and how many different fishing groups will have that, and how much knowledge you can gain off of other people's posts and side of just that little bit. A lot of them will talk about the water conditions and some of the bait that they've used and stuff like that. So that might be a good way for you to go and find some, like you're talking about, that local knowledge of a place that you've never been to. And then there's always friends too, that know the areas.
Oh, yeah, that's a better way to go.
I would travel more, but I have a single axle trailer. And this trip that I'm getting ready to do last year was 1,750 miles on that single axle trailer.
Who said that about single axle trailer? I missed that one.
Jody.
Oh, Jody.
I guarantee you, I've probably put on my little tracker boat, I've probably put 20,000 miles on that trailer already.
Yeah, Jody's got a good point. YouTube videos, people fishing that area. We did that. Well, that's one of the ways we scouted for Mendota the first time we went up there. Find somebody that's already fishing it.
Yep.
Let's see here.
Just looking through here. That guy who has right. Yeah, I mean, you can always. Yeah, obviously, there's typically YouTube videos, but you can gain a lot. I'm telling you can gain a lot of knowledge if you just do your research online of searching. You'd be amazed at how much information's on Facebook that you don't realize. I can't change the tire. What? You can't change the tire?
Well, if you can't change the tire, that's what roadside assistance is for. They'll come change it for you.
I was just guessing, Hooks, but you're probably right. You probably do have more.
You probably do put that, yeah.
As much as you drive every.
Let's see. Brad asked you about bearing buddies on your trailer, Chad. I took
mine are what were they called, Josh? The easy bearings.
Yeah, you have the easy lube.
Easy, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to buy a new set of bearing buddies when I redid all the brakes and everything on my trailer. And the guy and I trust him. The guy down at the trailer shop is like, take those off. He goes, they're a false sense of security. And I'm not going to tell anybody to take those off their trailer. I trust this guy. I've bought from him before. He wouldn't steer me wrong. He said, just take and re-grease your bearings every 6 months or so. So there's extra work involved in it, but so far, knock on wood, we haven't had one fail. So
yeah. And that's another thing too. Is I seen Freddie talking about just asking in chats. You'd be amazed how much, like, the guys and gals in here that fish these areas. If you just like you said in chat, Nubby was asking questions earlier, and I got a message in my inbox waiting for the show to end. That I'll get with him here in just a little bit.
I think with the bearing buddies, it's like anything else. All that requires maintenance. If you ignore maintenance, it'll bite you in the ass every time. So, Chad, it's almost 8 o'clock. And
it's 9 o'clock here, buddy.
Now it's 8 o'clock in God's time. So
no, 9 o'clock God's time.
But so Mark's going to be starting here for too long.
Yeah.
I will make one shameless plug tonight.
Only one.
And that is, I am currently 14 subscribers away from 10,000 on my channel, The Weekend Angler. I need 14 subs. I'd kind of like to see it happen tonight. So
that would be cool.
If y'all can help me out, I'd appreciate it. If you don't want to, that's your business. But I've posted the link in chat there. No, but yeah, not even close to being famous, Jody. But
Chris just finally subscribed to you. You're 15 away now. Don, it's in May. I don't have the exact dates on me, buddy.
No, Chris, I was at 14. That means Chris just unsubscribed. So
oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah, he's 16 prior.
Wow, a bunch of lovely people. You guys can make sure you please
welcome there, Brad.
as well.
17. Look at that. Look at those numbers go down.
Hey, they unsubscribed you, but I just got a subscriber.
Well,
I broke 1,300 today.
There's quotas, so you got to take, and you can only have so many.
So
I got the studio app pulled up right now. As of right now, it's at 99.86, and it jumped a little bit today. I think I started the day at like 99.74 or something. So
not bad, not bad.
It's one of those. I'm close enough. I can taste it. So
well, let's see if we can't get him over the hump, ladies and gentlemen. Share him out. Show Josh love. He does a lot of awesome stuff. So.
All right, Chad, you got anything else tonight?
I have nothing else, my friend.
I think we'll have to probably about time to call it. Everybody check out Mark over at Catfish and Crappie. He's going to have the legend himself, Mr. Lyle Stokes, on there tonight. And should be a good show.
That's right. Make sure you guys go over and check them out. We'll see you guys next week or this coming week on the bait shop over on Fields to Water channel or Panfish Station right after the bait shop Thursday nights. Make sure you come check us out. Have a good week.
Have a good week, y'all.